Any day now.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're back. I'm here tonight.
Wheels
it's
falling
2 o'clock
off.
in the morning in
Jesus.
Copenhagen, and I could not miss this pod. I just know, having listened to the pods that have happened so far on this Europe tour, you guys have been talking about how much you've missed me, and how valued I am as a member of the Always Almost There team.
This is the first one that's been late, by the way.
You went to go to the bathroom 30 seconds before we were supposed to go live.
I was back. My bladder is a professional.
Also, I apologize for my voice. I've been having a very good time at shows, and people know that I like to sing a lot.
Yeah. Were you on the boards tonight for Peggio, or?
I don't think so. I think Haps might be, though.
I could see that.
He's converted. Yeah. He's a convert. He's a Peggio aficionado.
Oh, has he come around?
Yes. He's absolutely come around. I'll read the quote at some point. I'm not going to put him on the spot right now. I'll dig it up before the end of the pod, but he's a convert. He's a Peggio convert.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We will.
But yeah, I just want to, how are you guys doing? How's Couch Tour life treating you guys?
Oh man, it's great. I get to listen to the show, not at work, because I wouldn't do that.
You would never.
And then I get to listen.
I do.
Not on company time.
Yeah,
I get to listen to the second set, usually on my drive home, which is, driving through Boston traffic. It's nice and soothing. So it's good stuff.
There he is.
Gentlemen.
Thank you for joining us,
yeah.
Mr. Danny Rosewoods. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Pardon the delay.
Yeah. We're good.
The five of us are here this evening.
Yeah. Exactly.
Rick with the shirt
on Always Almost There podcast is here this evening, if we're not mistaken.
Yeah. I
Jiggly Rick.
We're not really missing anything here.
No,
we're good.
And this has never been said before on the history of this podcast.
No.
We
all love each other dearly.
Yeah, and we're all very humble.
We didn't say it when you weren't here either.
No, you would never do such a thing.
Oh man. Yeah, how's the fridge?
Yes. Let's get down to the important things real quick here.
Hey, dude, I might have gotten a free fridge.
Well, listen.
Literally,
these things happen.
Yeah.
Listen, when you decide to show up, Jive.
Yeah,
that's on you, buddy.
Yep. You got the link. Hop on in.
If you guys wouldn't mind, before we dive into the show, I'd like to share a little bit about, going in and the vibe there tonight.
We're leaning heavy on the vibes here, Ryan. So
heavily.
This was a vibe show, evidenced by the vibes guy, Haps himself, having the best time out of anyone in the venue, as has been the trend so far in Europe.
Yes. Nobody's having more fun than Haps.
It should be.
Awesome. I know we say a lot of things sarcastically on this podcast. This is not sarcastic in the slightest. Literally, no one is having more fun than Haps in Europe, and it's amazing. But the venue tonight, we're here in Copenhagen, Denmark. Lovely, lovely city. Terrible, terrible weather today. Chilly, raining. We walked around the Christmas market earlier. There was some cool stuff happening there. But shout out to Garrett, who's elsewhere in the hotel tuning in. He made it back.
That's nice.
We get to the venue and, we'd seen pictures of it, and it looks like any storefront on a street. Like it could be like a bar. And it is. When you walk in, the Hotel Cecil is literally a bar, and the venue is just in the basement. And
it's my kind of hotel.
Honestly, after seeing a show in Cologne, at the beginning of this week in a similar capacity venue, Cologne.
Cologne.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Ryan sounds like he's been singing loudly at shows
and consuming healthy amounts of alcohol.
Anyway,
what?
Anyway, that's not relevant. So you go down the stairs from this very nice bar into a very nice concert venue, and unlike Cologne or Cologne or Cologne, however you would like to pronounce it, if you will, this was not a shoebox. There was a high ceiling. There were disco balls. There were 10 disco balls on the ceiling tonight.
Disco taken.
Thank you. Exactly. There were disco vibes in the air here. But it was an incredible concert venue, and it wasn't oversold despite being sold out, despite being a 350 capacity venue. We all had plenty of space, especially towards the back by the soundboard where I was. Haps was up close. Garrett was a little bit behind me. It was amazing. And
plenty of room, plenty of room to move your balls.
Because it's disco balls.
Yeah,
these ones. Yeah, these discos.
Disco balls.
Yeah.
Garrett would like to give a bar report as well. The bar was very clear.
Rapid fire drinks at the bar. That's awesome.
Yeah,
it was. Listen,
belly up vibes right there.
This was easily venue of the tour. VOTT. So far, I mean, space. Clean, nice.
Sound.
People were having a great time. The sound was amazing.
Nice.
Shout out to Loomis, who has just been dialing it in every single night. Really, I mean, hit a stride in Amsterdam. Sounded phenomenal, and it sounded phenomenal again tonight. Came to play. I believe the beers were actually in plastic. But
it looked in pictures like they were in actual glasses.
Lots of people were talking about that.
Yeah.
There were different schools of thought on whether it was glass or plastic, I think.
Hard plastic. Ding, ding, ding.
Very hard.
Don't throw it away.
Tink, tink. We're going to watch that.
It's definitely a hasty rank on the venue, Michael. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you're the only person we've got on the show because we can't get anybody in Europe to come on the show.
Well, who in their right mind
would
want to get on a podcast at 2:00 in the morning? Not me.
Not many. Just
Ryan
you.
Storm. Yep. Only Ryan Storm. That's why we love you, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ryan's a big Bears guy tonight, by the way.
Do you guys have anything to say about your couch tour report here? Neil, you mentioned that you didn't listen to it at work, obviously. Kev did listen to it at work.
I definitely did. Yeah, I definitely did.
D, what about you?
And I think the audio was I listened to some of the audio only sounded better than definitely better than the Amsterdam stream, as we know, and that's fine. I think maybe that who knows if that might be the route in terms of I'd rather have good sound than video as well. Personally, and just so didn't get the vibes on the video like we had been, but I thought it sounded better tonight. Good. I think maybe one of the best of the three so far that we got.
Excellent.
Yeah,
the Wi-Fi kind of checked out.
Sound was definitely dialed in, probably the best of what we've heard so far. Definitely did not listen at work either. If anybody that I happen to work with might be listening, I don't think that's even possible. Thankfully, but it sounded really good, and I was happy.
Just heard about it
for the last few shows. Yeah, man, to be able to have my day sort of be reshuffled and be able to have access to these shows is just a blessing. I love it.
Yeah, the weird thing is, I thought when Goose was going on Europe tour that I would have all this time in the middle of the day to listen to Goose. Turns out it's really hard to listen to Goose in the middle of the day, or like 2 p.m. my time. So
and this counts for nothing, but I was actually like feeling it today, like because we did the time change, right? So it gets to be like pretty close to when we're about to start the pod, and we're post show, and I'm like, what time is it? Like, where are we? Almost like I'm on Europe time,
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not.
Pretty much.
So should we talk about the show here?
I was gonna say, yeah.
We're 9 minutes in here.
Let's
get talking about the show.
Let's talk about the show. Let's dive in here. First half of the first set. Flow Down, Indian River, Jive 2. These first two songs made for Jive Goose. This is a Jive Goose show right here. Flow Down, Indian River, Delta Jam. This is what he wants. This is what he likes.
Yep.
This is what he's into. And
he definitely had to reset up a couple tables in the house.
Some tables might have been flipped.
I don't know.
Yeah, Flow Down was cool. It's a flopener. Always fun. I know how much Neil loves that term.
Yeah.
But Indian River got going very, very quickly, much faster than previous Indian Rivers. There was no 15 minutes of regular Delta jam before they got to the meat of the jamming. By the 12-minute mark, they were going.
I mean, this jam is beautiful.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
To me, it's the jam highlight of the show. This is, if you're looking for the jams in the show, this is Welcome to Delta, straight into not Welcome to Delta anymore, pure Type 2 Delta. And it's gorgeous. I think Jive was saying when we were listening, this is another familiar jam. Ryan, I think you were saying it was Vegas Elizabeth?
Similar kind of themes to the Vegas Elizabeth, you know,
Yeah.
Rick on that octave up tone.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's awesome. I was listening to it while I was at work, or no, I wasn't. But and I was kind of like loosely paying attention because it was like, you know, there's Indian River, and I was wondering when it was going to get somewhere. And then I was like, oh man, this is really, really good. And I think we all kind of came to the realization at the same time that something like extraordinary was happening. And yeah, this was the jam highlight of the show for me.
Yeah. Kev, D, anything to add there?
I liked it. Yeah, I picked up what you were saying too. It sounded quite similar to the Vegas. You had a little bit of the Vegas vibes, and yeah, it got beautiful. It was I would say it was my highlight of the show as well. Which is nice. They're showing those little spaces. We saw it in Milwaukee with the Elizabeth, and you know, 12, 13 minute song can get nice. There he is. Can get you know, pretty quick and get somewhere fast, and also leave the space and doesn't have to sort of hang on to something too long, and kind of get a little played out. So yeah, I liked it. Decent start. Kind of felt.
Go ahead. Sorry, I was just going to point out
you're good.
Ryan's product placement of the Propolis throat spray.
Propolis, yeah.
Thank you to my mother. Thank you to my mother for commenting that I hopefully have it with me, and Garrett for saying that I do have it. I do have it.
Is it derived from the honey of local bees, or
It is not
Okay.
local to Copenhagen.
No.
not local to Copenhagen?
No,
Okay.
Amazing.
Vickers is awake.
Well,
I mean, we're having a hell of a show right now. We got Vickers, we got Schwartz. I mean,
Vickers forgot to eat. That's
There's a lot
we're
of
two
things
songs in. We're 2 songs in, 15 minutes in. You know, it's quality.
We're doing great here. We're doing great on this pod. We're known for brevity. We're known for staying on topic. We're doing great.
Yep.
We had a few people, by the way, I'd like to comment on this. We've had a few people over the last couple of days mention how much they love Honeybee right in front of Garrett, and watching him visibly like become very uncomfortable.
oh man,
Finding joy in the joy of others.
So anyway, this Jive 2, we
Jive
saw
2.
the kind of newer alternate arrangement of it in the fall, where it was Peter Clav solo, and then Rick guitar solo, and then Rick's regular guitar solo. This tonight was just Peter Clav solo, no organ, no bonus Rick solo, just, nice Clav stuff, which made me happy. But interesting to see that they're still tweaking that a little bit. And so I'm curious, A, why, and B, where it's going to end up. Do you guys have any thoughts on this?
No, I mean, I think it's probably admittedly a little bit of a time thing again, tonight. Like, we still got 3 more songs after that, but it still only ended up being 69, I think 69.
Nice.
69 minutes.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So, but, and then also the Indian River, right? The last one we got, was there one more in between Vegas that was the 80s? I don't know, actually. I don't think so. Either way, I don't think so. From Vegas on October 1st, or it was maybe either. But so they're right. There's still always these arrangement changes and stuff like that. Like, what is Dark Horse going to look like when it comes? Well, hopefully it gets played a little bit more. Just like Indian River jumps, Atlas. We got the Atlas Jam, and what was that right after the other night? You called it real well. Song after Atlas. Either way, but no, they're just changing it up. I think it's good. Brevity was the reason tonight, probably.
Excellent. And then Jive 2 leads into a little brief piano interlude, which I forgot to ask Garrett about this. I thought it was going to be Honeybee for a second, but then Peter started playing The Way It Is, and I got very excited. This is my first Way It Is tonight. No jam, but very solid version. Nice tension release. Sorry, Kev, I was going to give you a pod.
Sorry,
pod
sorry
during
there.
that
Sorry,
sentence.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Can you chug that and then crack another one?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, good. But I mean, this is what we know. This is one of the best covers in the Goose catalog. Really excited to see this pop up. Shout out to RJ. And I mean, I was just really excited to get my first Way It Is here tonight. Excellent.
Yep.
They didn't jam it.
No, they didn't. And
No, they didn't.
I got to cross
So-
it off the list. So
Yeah, I guess you get to cross it off the list.
yeah.
But
You know what else
I'm
they do?
obligated. I'm
Yeah.
contractually obligated to say, since they played Jive 2, that Jive Lee is the best Jive.
It's not.
It is. It's absolutely the best Jive. Who doesn't like a whole entire song that's a jam? I mean, find me the people who
No,
don't
but
like this.
Jive 2 is the best Jive.
Uh,
It is. We know it's true, Neil. We're not going to debate that right now.
I-
But the rest of the set, sorry, let me go through the rest of the set.
Finish
Earthling or
it.
Alien and Yeti, both solid versions. Earthling had a couple of minutes of
Mhm.
poking at the edges of the envelope. Maybe it's going to go somewhere, but ended up staying pretty restrained. Tonight's keyword was once again rich. For those keeping track, and for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, there's an Earthling or Alien keyword chart on lgoose.net.
yeah. I think you're the only
There
person
is.
who really knows. I only know because you told me about it. So I'm glad you
Yep.
brought it up on the podcast.
Is it all about crossing it off the list? Emily, it's a great question. No,
Sometimes.
but it's very exciting to cross that off the list.
Yes.
New drinking game.
And yeah, I think also it was the only other part, Yeti. It's a bummer we didn't get to see it jammed, but song time. So
It made
that's maybe
sense.
No, it did,
Yeah,
it
there was
did.
someone next to me. We just been talking about the Fox Yeti, and it was like before the show. And so when they started Yeti, we were like, they jammed the last
Maybe.
two versions, very
Yeah.
similar triumphant theme, like maybe. But tonight was just solid Peter guitar solo.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Any more thoughts on this first set here?
It sounded great while I was definitely not listening to it while at work. So it was great to have in the background while I was totally paying attention and not like preoccupied doing anything else during this time.
As long as, honestly, I feel like as long as you weren't drinking a beer while you were not at work and listening to the stream, you're probably
never.
Yeah, I
Never.
wasn't doing that.
Yeah. Zooming out a little
Your-
bit, this
your-
is a
your
really
mug.
bizarre set, right? You're getting songs that don't normally appear in sets. Indian River has become a rarity at this point. Jive 2 is a rarity. The Way It Is
Yeah.
happens almost never, a few times a year. Earthling or Alien, first time in 11 shows or 10 shows, maybe. And I think
11.
also the same for Jive 2. Yeah, I would say 10.
Yeah.
And then Yeti,
Jive 2
actually,
is
this is
14.
surprising. Yeti is on somewhat short rest for Yeti these days. And I mean,
That's about average.
kudos to people who kind of picked that one up. I didn't see Yeti coming in the show, but this is an emptying the take show. And I said
Yeah.
this before the
Yeah.
show started, that this
Before
was
the
going to be like
festival,
Kemba
too.
Live in Ohio, and not quite the same, not even close to the same, but similar
No
insofar
Honeybee.
as there were a lot of long gap songs played in this show.
Yeah.
Jive.
And we haven't gotten and it obviously didn't happen tonight, but Yeti or Rum, like Rum was a possible.
I thought Rum too. Yeah, it was around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought for sure they were going to play Rum tonight. I thought for sure they were going to play Rosewood. They opted for longer gap songs, which is interesting in the first set.
And then I don't know if Rosewood goes tomorrow, but like song, like you got Lead Up. He's gonna
Well,
like that, right?
yeah, and, like,
Festival, there's gonna be
Arcadia.
those songs: Arcadia, Lead Up, Slow Ready. Yes,
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
probably picks I'll take too. So
yeah.
But
it's there.
I mean, I'd love to talk about the second set here because
Let's do it.
the first set was good and all, and the second set,
And we should
sure- Yes,
ignore the comments right now and just definitely move into the second set.
Let's do
Oh,
it.
100%.
all
There's
business.
Nobody in the comments right now, just so you
No.
know,
Let's go.
in case anybody in the chat thinks we're talking about them,
Nope.
we're not talking about you. We're talking about Jive Goose. I just want to make sure Everybody is clear on
Oh
that.
yeah.
This is also a completely incorrect statistic. They played it at 2 festivals. Thanks for the balloons.
Good. I'm even more
My computer.
confident.
Now we get the
Right here?
balloons.
That was beautiful, but love to correct Jive Goose when he's wrong.
Ryan, will you make
There
a
we go.
pledge? Will you make a pledge right now to drink
Confetti.
some hot tea in your room
Yeah, tonight.
tonight before you go to bed to
Sure.
assuage the concern of the entire chat?
Oh boy,
Oh,
Andy's here
Propolis
too.
throat spray and tea is good before bed.
Here we go. Here's
Never
the giant
been to Europe.
asterisk.
Splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Oh man.
By the way,
Amazing.
they've never played Lead Up at a Europe festival that they've never played.
Yes.
They've never played Arcadia in Europe either.
Yes.
Yeah. They've never played Lead Up in Canada either. So
Yeah.
So how about that opening
So,
song?
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
What
the
was that?
second set, Creatures, Peggio, Tumble, 726, Dripfield. This was an awesome set in the room. You know, obviously I was
set.
thinking to myself, like, nothing from this set is bracket worthy. Nothing from this set is really gonna be something I'm gonna go back to a ton on re-listen. But in the room, in the moment, the energy was just absolutely incredible. You know, seeing these songs in such a small room with a crowd that was so engaged with the band.
And it sounded like, because Peter at one point asked the crowd how many folks in the audience was at their first show.
Yeah.
And it sounded like there was a substantial amount of attendees there that it was their first show.
There were, I feel like tonight was the highest percentage of locals.
Different. Yeah, exactly. The distance, I think, was
Shout
a
out
big
to
one.
shout out to Andreas, the nice Swedish guy.
Swede,
on
yeah.
show.
Yeah, man.
Odd fan.
He's a pod listener. That's always really cool to hear, like, someone in Sweden listening to this podcast. That's crazy.
That is remarkable, actually.
When we
in so many
chart our
ways.
data, he's the one guy in Sweden. we've
Right,
seen.
he's the one.
Thank you, Andreas.
Yes. It was,
All right,
it
yes.
was excellent. Goose
I
is
like-
a Denmark band.
I like.
Listen,
I like
Copenhagen is the
Creatures.
Ohio of
Copen-
Scandinavia.
Copenhagen.
There you go. Scandinavia.
But
Oh,
so Creatures
crazy.
Peggio, I mean, Creatures was
I like
just
the
all about
Creatures.
the energy. You guys were
Yeah.
throwing around the Shama speculation because they like to do that.
Not you guys. That was Neil.
It was me.
You're right.
It was all well, like I was just saying before the set began, like Creatures absolutely is opening the set. Like if you don't
Oh,
see it coming,
there was no chance. Listen, easiest
Yeah.
8-pointer of the tour.
yes, I think so.
You didn't
although-
have it as your 8-pointer, regardless of whether you hit your 8-pointer or not.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I mean, I didn't hate this. This Creatures was really cool, actually.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
did
Turkish
something like kind
jams.
of outside the box. You got a little jam on the back end.
Yeah.
That was, not super unique, but definitely different than what we're
Hot.
used to. Yeah, and like, there was no play into
I liked it.
Kylie or like Shama or Pumped Up Kicks. I was thinking
It was
Pumped
just- it
Up
was just
Kicks
a
would
good
actually be
Creature.
like the one that came out tonight, just because like they haven't done that one in a really long time. But I don't know.
There was kind of a moment before they went into that little extension part where it's like, oh, here comes the transition, where it was gonna be maybe one of those 3, Neil, like you said. But then, yeah, they kind of got into the little Rick, dancey. I was saying Brendan's favorite kind of Turkish smoke lounge, it's kind of just felt, and Kev had a great gif of a hookah lounge, puff cloud, cotton ball house cloud. And
Amazing.
yeah, I liked it. And then just kind of melted into Peggio. So yeah.
Yeah, go. I don't know if we're still talking about Creatures here, but I really want to get this
Yeah.
Caps quote in there for Peggio.
Yeah. start with the
So
Peggio.
this is a direct
Wow.
quote from Haps, giving us a little bit of video of his post-show analysis and experience. Peggio, you guys, blah blah blah. It's a good song.
It's a good song.
And
We
if
have
you know
won.
if you know anything about Haps, you know what a victory that is in terms of converting him to good taste. So
I mean, he
And
did
let's just
leave.
say,
He
by
did
the
leave
way-
the bar on what was that, on Sunday or went Tuesday? I don't even Europe, and it's the
Yeah.
other
what
night.
day of the week?
he saw Peggio on the set list and he was like, no, I'm out.
It was fine. But so actually, they cut Peggio from the Amsterdam set list. And tonight for set 2, Jeb walked out with the lyric sheet for Rock the Casbah, because that's what they were going to play after Creatures. And Rick, genius guy, despite the fact that he wrote Casbah on the set list in the first place, genius Audible pulled Peggio instead, which was absolutely perfect.
Casbah would have made that even a little more higher energy set. No,
Listen,
it
would have been
it went
fun.
both ways.
Peggio in the moment, people were singing along, people were
Nice.
like crying, like it was beautiful. My only complaint about this Peggio is that Peter didn't play a like 5-minute long guitar solo.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's very unlike Ryan Storm
Oh,
there.
I love the slow, soulful, beautiful Peggio Peter guitar solo.
Yeah.
Just as long as it's not the So Ready guitar solo.
Correct.
So we're
Too
clear.
high energy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Although, I do want to point out that we're talking about Peggio as though people have to come around on it. That's not true. It's just that
We're
Haps
just
is
used
the
to talking to
last
Haps
person
about it.
on earth to come around on that song.
Yeah.
So it's important.
It
And,
is.
Happy is important to us.
Yes.
You don't know him, find him at a show,
Yeah.
give him a hug, high five.
Yeah.
He'll
He's
find you.
Need
currently
more
out
hot dog.
there
Need more
amidst
Euro
the
hot dog
vibes
reviews.
of Copenhagen.
Yeah.
And could not be.
Ryan, is your mom in the chat?
My mom is in the chat.
Never a good thing when your mom's in the chat when you're awake at 2:30 in the morning. But
Oh boy.
in Copenhagen.
Hey, Lisa, he's using the throat spray. Don't worry.
yeah.
She saw it. It was in my pocket.
Yeah.
Garrett vouched for it. We're doing great. We're doing great. Anyway,
Yeah, there's more
Tumble.
music to talk about here.
Tumble comes next. This is a hot Tumble. We get some clav in there in the early jam, but this is just really, hot type 1 Tumble. Reminded me of the Goose one from last year, where it's just like fun, dancey, energy's high, people going crazy in the venue.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very good Tumble. This is your jam highlight of the second set. So
Yes.
get excited for that. I don't know. I don't have much to say. I heard there was a tease in there. I didn't hear it. But some people say it exists.
Some people did.
I don't know. It's a good Tumble. It's a weird spot for Tumble. Mid-second set Tumble.
Mid-second set is weird for it.
Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It was strange.
But
Set
it
one
kind of brought stuff right up again.
Well, they needed
I
it,
feel
right?
like the
They
ending
needed to play
position-
that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the written set list, but I mean, if you're going to play Creatures and then you're going to play Peggio, you got to play something. And there's very limited stuff left. It's clear they're going for no repeats. There have been no repeats yet on this tour. I think this is the
Going
first
for no
one.
repeats until when, though?
I think
Tomorrow?
Berlin.
Because they're definitely repeating. things.
Berlin.
There's
Yeah,
gonna be
after the
there's gonna be
festival.
repeats tomorrow.
Oh, they're going to repeat. Yeah, they're going to play Animal tomorrow for sure.
Playing
But,
Animal and
fair.
Hot Tea and Arcadia.
Yeah.
Arcadia
Yeah.
has been.
Arcadia hasn't been played yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Talk
That's why
about
they didn't play it
easiest
tonight. They
corner
haven't
of
played
tour.
lead up. I thought
Yeah,
for
but
sure
they
they were going to sit on Tumble too. I was surprised when they played it.
I
I
was
don't wanna-
surprised they played Dripfield tonight.
I don't want to
honestly.
spend a lot of time talking about Fantasy Goose because there's really nothing remarkable to discuss.
True.
But
Yeah.
is there a Fantasy Goose game tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a show tomorrow.
And that's all we really need to talk about. We can move on.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And then after Tumble, it's like I feel like every 726 comes before a Dripfield at this point. Even though
Yeah.
it
It's a good
doesn't
pair.
actually happen that
It's good
often.
pair.
I feel like
Like-
they look so natural on a set list together. I feel like 726 just goes into Dripfield. Like, I was thinking during 726, and I said to you guys in chat, I was like, Drip's coming next. Like it, despite the fact that I thought it was going to come at the festival, I also put it as my 7-pointer tonight. But it was beautiful. And I would like to let everybody know Dripfield hits just as hard in a 300-person club as it does in an arena. And it's incredible.
That was
Saturated.
actually a question I was going to ask is like, what is Dripfield like in front of 350 people? Because that's never
Insane.
been done.
Insane.
Right.
People were going
Probably got to
crazy.
be awesome in a small
Yeah.
space like that.
People-
Had
were
to
going
feel
crazy.
every bit of that.
Yeah,
Well,
the
and
drums.
again, more credit to Loomis for having the sound so dialed in that it felt so big in such a small room.
Oh, I
such a
bet,
big
yeah.
song. And that was, Neil and I, you and I being at the debut of it at Mohegan. It was like, this is a big arena song.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
mean,
playing
well,
it in the basement of a bar in Copenhagen.
Oh,
It
just
still hits.
sick. I bet that was perfect though.
yeah.
And I skipped over the
Wow.
726. I mean, but 726 is like incredible.
Very good.
And it's amazing. Oh, how are the Jeb bombs? Actually, at the request of the man himself, the last 2 shows, I've been keeping track of the number. Thank you, Balloon. Tonight there were 14 Jeb bombs by my count in tonight's show.
Wow.
14.
14.
bombs.
Only 9 in Amsterdam.
Oh, really? That's amazing that you're keeping track. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
He asked me to.
Don't do
Oh
that.
man. So like we got an interesting stat here though. You bring this up. So 726 has immediately preceded Drip 5 times now. They've only been played in the same show 7 times.
Stats guy.
Stats.
Thank you,
that's
Adam.
incredible.
Yep. Thank you.
So if
Ryan-
they're played in the same show, they're together. Yeah.
Yes, and seeing how Ryan memorizes the set list, nobody's surprised. I did not click on that comment, by the way.
No,
Drum 7.
we love you, Adam.
That was Ryan.
Yeah.
We could use.
I
more
thought the
stats.
end of Drip sounded a little different. Like the re-entry at the end was a little weird or short of the.
Peter hit it on the marimba a little bit.
Okay,
I
yeah, and
think-
then the guitar and the sort of that like twinkling outro. It just it felt a little different. I mean, once again, shorter probably. They only had so much time, so kind of getting all their sections in.
Yeah, but it was great. I mean, hell of a closer. And we got a slightly longer show tonight. I think the 2 sets were not everything. The 2 sets were about equal length. We've had a couple of lopsided ones so far, but tonight was we got a little bit of a longer second set, which was nice. Hopefully they continue to get longer. But I'm really, really excited to go to Berlin tomorrow, experience a new city, and keep going. I'm not wearing a hat. No, I'm not putting on a hat either.
So what are you guys flying back tomorrow?
We are, yeah. We actually we were originally going to be taking the train, and then we looked at our 8-hour train trip at around dinner tonight,
Ooh,
and we were like,
rough.
let's not do that. And so now we're on a plane.
So I have one question before we wrap this podcast up: is how many calories has Haps eaten in Copenhagen? like 5,000, or I mean, I feel like he's just got to be like consuming.
Hey,
like 2
he's
meats
vibing.
of some kind.
He's
And
vibing.
Yeah, but there's no
Vibing
ice
the-
cream sandwiches,
Yeah, and
No,
vibing,
he's
You're
not
walking
vibing,
it off too.
vibing
He's not
doesn't just
located
happen.
Ice cream sandwiches.
You have to reload when
Yeah.
you're vibing.
Yeah.
You're walking a lot of it off, which is at least or better, I'm sure. And yeah.
So, oh wait, oh yikes!
Oh, geez,
So-
bro, there. Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
I was trying to get Garrett's, and it just
Too
the
many
comments
people
are
trying
coming
to
in
put
too
comments
fast.
there, Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to get Garrett on a show. Garrett wants to be on a show. Ryan's keeping him off the show. So let's
That's
correct
fucked
that
up.
to
Man, how dare you?
Jesus Christ,
we need
Ryan.
the vibes report from Garrett. It's very important stuff. But one more thing before we go.
No festy stream.
So Justin Shook got a shout out from stage tonight, which is really exciting because a lot of folks have been giving rail riders a hard time on this Europe tour.
Ooh, Neil.
So I want to use this opportunity to say, stop giving the rail riders a hard time. They are going to do whatever it is that they want to do in Europe. Leave them alone.
Can we trouble the poster people still, or is that off limits?
Yeah, I think the poster thing's off limits because Garrett's on the chat. But
Okay.
Ugh.
Don't mention that.
Listen,
Don't mention
hey,
what, D?
What?
Oh, the posters. But
No, that's not what I'm
Thanks,
talking
thanks
about.
for this, Katie.
Just
Ryan doesn't
Neil's
think
over there
most
just rubbing
people's
salt.
ideas just suck.
Neil's over there just
Oh,
rubbing
man.
salt in the wound.
Oh, Dad's in the chat now too.
yeah.
Any
That's
tarts?
that's the
No.
second time. That's the second time. The first time, Ryan, you need to soothe that voice, young man.
Yeah, don't let
Thank you.
Rob get on you about
Take
your
care of the
story.
pipes.
Thank you.
Well, Ryan, we're glad that you came on the pod
Yeah,
to
thanks,
I am
Ryan.
too.
share your
Yeah.
experience at
Yep.
roughly 2:35 in the morning. I hope you get some sleep before your travel day tomorrow.
I'm going to.
You have the day off, right? You are not going to the festival.
Correct. The next, so yeah, we're not going to the festival tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, no stream tomorrow. I don't know a single person going to the festival. It might not even be happening. It is happening, but
Ryan likes to get some sleep before he travels.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you. But so we will not have a pod tomorrow. There is potentially going to be a live set list thread, depending on some factors. But keep your eye on AAT Goose Pod on Twitter. If not, we will have the set list up on goose.net after the fact, and we will be back on Sunday.
But Saturday, man.
Saturday, right?
What?
Oh, I was looking at it. I was like, oh,
Jesus
Friday
Christ.
right now, and 2 days from now.
Jesus Christ.
We'll be back on Saturday. And
You're
by
going to be
we,
back
I
on
mean,
pod tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, us. Yeah.
You guys
Who?
will be there
When?
Saturday at 8
Saturday.
p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
It's gonna be a party. It's gonna be Saturday night. It'll be it's gonna
All
be.
bets are off.
Well, I mean, we have a heater of a show coming.
Ryan has a birthday coming up.
I do.
Nice.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Birthdays.
Ryan will be the ripe old age of 18.
Yep.
Ryan's
He's going to turn
birthday.
18.
You
Yeah.
sound like
It's a
Chop.
milestone birthday for him. Yeah, it gets exciting.
Amazing.
That's a
I think
good
this is
comment
where
to
we
finish
actually
it on.
stop the
That's a
pod.
great comment to finish it
This
on.
Thank you to everybody for sticking with us through this pod. Thank
Call
you
me
for
up.
listening. If you're listening, I highly recommend you watch the video because I feel like you need to see our facial expressions.
This is like a first timer in here. He's like, what
Yeah.
the hell?
Yeah.
That's great.
Sorry, Andreas.
Well,
Uh,
I will definitely be back for at least one other pod while I'm here in Europe. But I'm glad I made it tonight. This has been fun.
Yep. Good times. Always.
Good times. Thanks, everybody.
Later, folks.
Have a great rest of your evening. We will see you